Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 217 of the Well Done Life podcast. And hello, welcome back to episode 217 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I am so happy that you're here this week. I hope that you will stay for a very long time. And if you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to support me. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, and I hope you will continue to stay around and bring lots of friends. Before we get started with this week's episode, I really feel like it's very important for me every episode to be really foundational. If you've listened to this before, I'm sure you're like, okay, I can totally recite this with her, which is a good thing because that means that I'm getting it across. I just like to make sure that I set the foundation for what we're going to do here in this space. And one of the things that is very important for me is making sure that you understand that this safe space, I treat it like a house. And so I want to make sure that our foundation is strong and it's built on two very important things, and that is clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just want you to understand that the Well Done Life brand was put together because I believe in the power of women. I really believe in the power of us sharing our stories and how when we share our stories, we give people the opportunity to see the good and the bad of what we've gone through, but at the same time, an opportunity to thrive past it. And I feel like that's kind of like my rent for living on this earth is to share my journey, the good and the bad, all the highs and the lows, because I'm going to be honest, I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I've made. I want you to do better and be better. And if I keep my journey siloed, how do I help someone live better? Because there was a season in my life where I was looking for inspiration and I was looking for someone to help me find my way. And luckily I was poured into by a group of women. And from that point, I recognized after talking to God that this is the path that I need to take. So that's what's led me here. So hopefully you will feel seen and heard, inspired, as well as also relieved to know you will overcome the things that you've gone through. None of us have this thing on lock, including me. I am learning and growing every day. And I hope that you will continue to learn and grow as well. And we can share information and be better together. So welcome. And then that leads me into the other foundation, which is really the main foundation. I mean, love is the thing. I'm a sucker for love. I love love. And so for me, it is very important that every week I share prayers with you because I really believe in the power of people praying together. Obviously, coming together in prayer is amplification and it's just so important. So I like to make sure that you know my heart and my intention every week by giving you these prayers. So starting out, as it has been starting out, as it probably is going to continue to start out, I think, for a very long time, which is not a bad thing. We are standing on the power of finding peace. I pray that you are surrounded in peace this week. I'm really feeling better about finding like pockets of peace. I am prioritizing that. I realized today when I was driving home from running my errands, because I'm recording actually on Saturday, April the 5th at 1:25 p.m. And I was running errands out this morning and I was just grooving. The sun was shining. It's a little cloudy, overcast day here in Central Florida, a little nice breeze blowing. And I was just jamming to some Evelyn Champagne King, like old school music in my car, like really loud. And I just felt such a wave of peace and happiness roll over to me. And I was just like, you know what? I got to prioritize more moments like this. Like, don't get me wrong. I am also, on a side note, a really heavy, like car lip sync kind of girl. And so if you're not catching me lip syncing or singing out loud off key to Glorilla rapping or any of those other songs, you will also find me in an old school vibe because I'm just kind of an eclectic kind of girl. But I realize, there's peace in this. There's peace in looking silly. There's peace in the song. There's peace in shaking my hair and just feeling good and recognizing that even though the world is a dumpster fire around me, in this moment, I have peace and I have to cling to that. I hope that you will find moments in the dumpster fire of things to find peace, that you will prioritize having a sing-along to whoever makes you happy and just give yourself an opportunity to shake your hair. Give yourself actually an opportunity to sit in your car by yourself and drink coffee, tea, water, matcha, whatever makes you happy in that moment. Because there is also peace in that as well. I just want you to have peace because we need it to center. In all the chaos, we need to center, because being able to center to ourselves allows us to surrender. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but allows us to surrender. It allows us to allow God and to have his way in our lives. It allows peace to start to come in. Like, we can't keep holding on to everything, because if we are trying to do it our way, how is God going to do it his way? And his way is always better than our way. So you have to find a way to create peace and serenity. And so I hope that you will give yourself that peace. And then lining into it, of course, I'm going to keep standing on this one too, because I really feel like it's essential right now, is clarity. And again, you need clarity so that you are able to be imparted into in the right ways, but you need clarity so that you can make decisions. And a lot of times, we're in these knee-jerk situations. We're making decisions based upon emotion. And I've had lots of spirited conversation lately about making decisions based on emotion or clarity. And it is very important to be able to regulate yourself, because if you think about it, with everything happening, it's very triggering. It's like every day, it's like being slapped in the face and then being expected to go out and do something that's logical. And sometimes that is not possible without being able to come back to center and to have peace, so that you can then in turn have clarity. So I'm putting those two together because it's important. You have to have that peace. You have to give yourself time to center, because if not, you will wind up making permanent decisions in temporary situations. And right now, the way things are going, no one can afford that. So I just rather, keep it plain and just kind of hopefully remind you of the power of pouring into yourself, the power of stillness, the power of shutting up. Shut up is free, so that you can be imparted into, so that you can find clarity. And then I'm actually going to probably keep it kind of short and tight today. I'm going to round out my prayers with abundance. Abundance is one thing that I always pray for everyone. I do. I want everyone to be financially abundant, because then we can be a help to ourselves and to other people. But again, I always like to remind people about the power of being abundant spiritually, making sure that you are getting quiet and giving yourself the center so that you can hear God speak to you, because he is speaking to you in the whispers in the wind, in your spirit, in your soul. And I want you to be able to hear him. You really have to hear him, because he's always there. And sometimes we just get so caught up in the nature of things going on in life that we forget about those whispers. I don't want you to forget about that, because spiritual abundance will help you be able to also have the clarity and peace that you are looking for, to see things for what they are, so that you are not driven based on emotion so much, because you know who you are in Christ. You know that he loves you. You know that he cares for you. You know that he forgives you when you come to him. Don't get caught up in what the world or other people try to make you believe about yourself. Always remember that he spoke your name and you are his. And don't ever forget that. And so I want you to have that spiritual abundance. And then I do want you to also have that physical abundance. It is vitally important that at these times we start to take better care of ourselves physically. I mean, again, I'm not in the bandwidth of mind today to have such a pointed conversation about what's going on in the world. But there's a lot going on. There's so many attacks on so many things, not just the finances, but in regards to access to medical care. There's so many different things. And I think it is even more important physically that we take this time to really get serious about our health, to try to make sure that we are stronger than we've ever been. Because again, when you are physically well, it allows you mentally to be in a space where you are not susceptible to making bad decisions. And that will also impact you in regards to how you are moving financially. Because I've been honest before, and I don't mind sharing it. When I wasn't at my best mentally, And it translated into me not feeling well physically, and which in turn translated into me making bad decisions financially. I mean, avoid the things that I have done. Listen to me when I tell you it all works together. Don't believe what people tell you like one is separate from the other. They're not. They're interconnected. And it is very important that at the center of all of that interconnectivity, that you tie into yourself, that you take care of you on all levels, because you are the center of your life. And you only have this one body, this one vessel. And so you have to take care of it. You have to give it your best so that you are able to receive the blessings that you are working for. So those are my prayers for you this week. I'm very excited to be here. It has just been a busy week, crazy week, but I think crazy in 2025 just kind of goes synonymously. So we don't even need to debate it. We don't even need to talk about it. I'm sure you all know what's up, and we are just trying to move forward. Like I said, I'm also really glad to be back because it is really cool to talk with everybody after the episode that I released last week, episode 216, We Will Not Be Baited. And, I thought about actually not recording this week because I feel like Will Not Be Baited needs to ride a little bit longer because, again, there's so much out there in the world, in the ethos, trying to make us forget who we are and how we have to be reminded that above all, we are the history that they are trying to erase. Black history is 365 days in my life, a year. And so I'm not going to change that. And my foundation of the history of my culture is not based upon what I've learned in school. I'm very lucky to have come from parents who were very insightful and who made it their point to educate me and my sister in reference to who we are, where we came from, and what we represent so that we can move forward in sharing the history. And so I say all that to say, if you haven't had a chance to check out We Will Not Be Baited, I would recommend it, especially if you're feeling like you're trying to articulate what to do and how to feel in this time. And I hope that it will give you some inspiration, because when I recorded it, that was my thought. I just want people to understand that I feel you, I see you, I am you, and we are in this together. And so kind of piggybacking on that a little bit, I thought this week in reference to what I wanted to talk with you about, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of like a piggy step about it. Because I was having a really good conversation this week with my friend Tita, and we were talking about community. And, we were talking about we're talking about the LinkedIn community, and I'm just going to keep it Gucci with that, because how you see people out there on the LinkedIn community when they have lost their job and they have put themselves available out there to work, and they're looking at their network to elevate them and support them, and you see all the support and the helping hands. You see people making the comments talking about email me, DM me, I'm going to help you, all of those things. But when it comes down to it, and I'm just keeping it what I'm hearing from other people, and she agreed the same way that she's hearing the exact same thing, is a lot of times people put more lip service than action into that, and it's a problem. It really is. And so I kind of want to talk about it today, because I think at this season that we're in particular, especially as women, especially as Black women, we have to focus on building community. And when I talk about building community, I'm talking about building true community. And we have to really recognize that we deserve it and we need it. And here's the kicker: you can actually build true community while protecting your peace. And the reason I added that in, because I really think that a lot of times, people give lip service versus action because they don't want to do the heavy lifting one of trying to, put somebody on or elevate a person, send a resume, because they don't really 100% believe in you. Like, they like you as a person, but they don't really believe in you. To put their name on you, they don't believe in you. And if no one has ever said that to you or told you that, or you have just now realized that by me saying that, Hey, welcome to the truth. I'm just glad to tell you because it really is the case. A lot of times the people that we associate with, I'm doing the air quotes. I wish y'all could see me, but it's air quotes. The people that we associate with on these apps that we connect with, they don't rock with you like that. They rock with you on a surface level. And surface relationships are fine. Don't get me wrong. There's no judgments about surface relationships because that's why you have some people who are classified as associates and then you have some people who are classified as friends. I think it becomes essential, though, at this phase of life that we're in to recognize the difference between the two if you have not already. So kind of bringing it back, like I was saying, in regards to building true community, when you are building true community, that's the people that you can rely on that actually say what they mean what they say, and execute. And I think it's one of those moments in time for us, especially now, to ask ourselves, who do we have in our lives that really do say what they mean what they say, and actually execute? And what are we doing to foster those relationships? And at the same time, recognizing that we can build on those relationships while maintaining our peace. Because right now, of course, is very in vogue. Everyone is talking about the 92%, and everybody is reclaiming their time and practicing their peace and out here cooking and baking and living the lives. And we should be doing all of those things. But at the same time, like I said last week, and I'm going to say it again, for anyone who is mistaken to think that there is not action happening behind the scenes, I don't know what, that's a very illogical thought, because if you know, if you don't know, you weren't meant to know. And that's what it is. And it really is that simple. Like, things are still occurring. And while those things are still occurring, it is very important to get clear about the community and why we need to get even deeper into building it now. So I wanted to talk about it. And I think what I have found for me, because I feel like God is just leaning on me a little bit harder right now, getting closer to me. I feel like it is very important to make sure that all of these conversations that we have in reference to these subjects and topics and everything coming forth are rooted in biblical stance, because I think it is very important to get a little bit closer, to get a little bit deeper to the word, so that we understand how destined, how predetermined, how deserving, how entitled we should be in regards to moving forward with success and blessings and abundance and building community. I mean, it is not an old conversation. And so I think it's very important to kind of live an opening scripture. It is, make it your ambition to lead a quiet life so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and so that you will not be dependent on anyone. That's always been the mantra. And that is 1 Thessalonians 4:11 through 12. And so it is one of those things where obviously we want to live a beautiful life. We want to live a quiet life. We want to live a daily life. We want to win the respect of others. And so that we don't have to be dependent on anybody. But at the same time, we want to be mindful of how we're putting our energy out there and recognize that we don't have to do everything, be everything to everyone in order for us to build community. And the reason I'm putting that in there is because if we think about it, with everything kind of going on, like I'm saying, I mean, we're now in this season where we're recognizing, especially as Black women, we don't have to be in overdrive. We can give what we have and it be enough. And we can build community that way, which is great because we deserve that opportunity to have balance. I mean, Black women have been going hard in the paint for decades, centuries. We have always carried the weight of responsibility for everyone in a lot of different ways. I'm not saying that we've done it on our own, by no means. But when I think about the trueness of our history and everything that you have seen, it's us. When typically in previous elections, even just carrying it a little bit into this political realm, it has typically been the Black woman that came through. We came through with the last election, even though everybody else decided not to. Outside of Black men, but Black men had our back as well. But But even before that, we were the ones who put Joe Biden in the White House. And we are the ones who have been leading the charge for Barack Obama. Black women have been doing it all. Like typically, we are those people. But now with this new season, we have decided to step back because we told you, we gave you the keys and you decided that it wasn't enough. You didn't believe, which is fine, cool. So now we are back within ourselves. And so while we are within ourselves and living our best life and tapping back into our peace and giving ourselves the space to breathe, it is also a season where it's very important while, yes, we're going to sit back for a while we also, though, take a moment, take a beat to remember that it is now a time for us to create true community. True community. And true community is one where we recognize that boundaries and bandwidth are non-negotiables. Because let's be honest, even now in this season while we're resting, how many of you are taking a moment to really think about the fact that I really want to put these boundaries and bandwidth rules in place because I don't want to be tired anymore. I know for myself, like sitting down in this season, because I am sitting down some. I'm sitting down because I have no choice. I need to at some point have a conversation about the reset and the things that I started last year and how I'm going to move forward. But I haven't been in the emotional space to do it because I'm surrounded in a season where I have my mom who's physically and emotionally changing. And then I also have my godmother who I love. She's my second mother, has been ill as well. I'm looking at my two mothers potentially, in a situation where I can't be anything but able and available to them. And then just trying to navigate life at itself. And it's a lot, and being on this health journey. So I feel like this season has caused me to have to get still. And so I'm wondering for any of you, how many of you are in this season as well, where it's causing you to get still and to really look at, what your bandwidth is. And also to sit down and maybe look at how you are choosing your community. And really, do you have people around you who understand your need for a different pace, not just your purpose? Because a lot of times when we are executing our goals, we align ourselves with people who understand the purpose and are so supportive and so wonderful and helping us move through that we actually start to move at the pace of other people's expectations versus the expectations of ourselves. And that puts us in positions where we are in overdrive and we are not ready for overdrive. And we are in a season of burnout. You become in a season of resentment. You get in a season of just trying to distance yourself from this person who may be a wonderful person for you, but because you are not able to stand in the courage of your convictions and communicate that your pace, your mindset, your bandwidth are not in alignment with this person, that you start to distance yourself and then your community becomes fractured again. So again, it's very important to take this season to rest. Even Jesus rested. Even he didn't stay on all the time. And so why are we putting ourselves in these seasons where we feel like we have to stay on all the time? When are you going to give yourself the space and the honesty to say, I need to move a little slower than you? And what does that look like? How do you have that conversation? Because, a lot of times what we understand in our communities and building relationships and sisterhood, sometimes, again, it's not as authentic as we like it to be. Like I said, a lot of those relationships, and believe me, I'm not trying to bash any of the social networks like LinkedIn or any of that, but a lot of those relationships are so surface level. But people put so much emotion, so much belief, so much stock in that. And half of these people don't know you from a can of paint. They know you from images and videos that you selectively share with other people and messages. That's it. And you cannot expect that if you don't pour into building an authentic community. And so when it comes to that, it's like now is that time where maybe it's time to shift and start to build more authenticity. And maybe it's that moment where it's kind of like you have to look at your group, you look at your your community and ask yourself just a few simple questions. And these are rhetorical for you to ask. So look at your circle, look at your group, look at the community that you surround yourself with, and ask yourself, 1, do you have to shrink or stretch yourself to fit in with these group of people? 2, are rest and silence respected and not punished? 3, conflict is handled with care and never control. And 4, joy is shared just as much as the struggle. And 5, tying it all back in, you feel like this group is someone or a group of people that you can ride with, that you can be your most authentic self with, the good, the bad, the ugly, and they will always have your back. You know, like we have the saying sometimes I hear in a lot of different friend groups. I've said it in some of mine, like, I'll ride at dawn for you. Is this the group that's really going to ride at dawn for you? Because there comes a point in time in your life where you have to understand that there are going to be true relationships and connections with people if you work and cultivate them, if you do the looking and examining of yourself, where you will know 10 toes down that if something goes down, the phone could just ring one time and you guys will instantly assemble like the Avengers. That's the kind of community that we all need to be in right now. And, you know, I know that probably sounds really daunting. I'm sure your head is swimming thinking about this. And it's kind of like, okay, what do I do? I know that I have this group. How do I cultivate it even further? Maybe you don't have this group. And how do I start to build that? Maybe you are the community builder and you're ready to like make some changes. You know what? You need to start with an intention of what you want it to look like. Really, you need to do it. And you need to understand that it doesn't have to be 800 people. Like I don't really have like 800 people that I surround myself with. Like, of course, I have a good community that I have built with you guys and I love it. And this community is very special to me and I love connecting with you. And I have shared and heard some of the most beautiful stories and examples of growth within my community. But then I also have like my really tight girls, my friend circle, my sister circle. And I'll be honest, they're just enough that it fits within 2 hands. I can't go beyond 10. It doesn't even go beyond 10. And I'm good with that. I think about how my mom and my godmother are, and they had one other friend. It was just a circle of 3. And that's just how it was. So never put yourself in a situation where you feel like, oh my God, I don't have enough people around me. It's not about the size of the circle. It's about the quality of the people that are within it. And then at the same time, it's now that you have this group and you've identified them, how do you cultivate your time? Like for us, you know, as we have gotten older and life has done what it does, we have really kind of shifted how we spend time with each other. I would love to say that I see my friends every week. I do not. I'd love to say that I would talk to them every day. I do not. Like obviously when things are going on, we connect with each other through group chats. Like the group chat is definitely one of our favorite things. There's nothing wrong with that. Checking in with somebody, saying a kind word, a voice note. One of my friends, Tita, she and I are voice note champions. And literally we like send each other mini podcasts back and forth because that's what we love to do. It's just all about creating that effort and time to do the things that you need to do. But at the same time, making the effort where if you haven't seen each other for a while, don't be afraid to reach out. And reaching out doesn't necessarily mean where it's like we got to go out and have a fancy dinner. Sometimes it could be a dinner. Sometimes it could be a spa day. Sometimes it could be a quick plane trip. It just depends on what the circumstances allow and time. But it's all about the small things. Small moments create big memories. And that helps you build that space and trust in your community where everybody can be vulnerable because they know I don't have to always just pour into this person and I never get anything back and they never check in on me. They're never worried about what I need. You need to be that person just like you would expect them to be that person for you, because that's what it's going to, in the long term, help create that trust, that safe space where when things really hit the fan, when you need somebody to ride at dawn, they know what is up because they see that type of action and energy from you. Because again, it's really about understanding where people are and being able to meet them there. And understanding also that, peace is essential. Like, I have to admit, all of my friends, we pour into each other. I'm always celebrating their successes. They're always celebrating my successes. There's no hate. There's no gatekeeping, because we are all women who are independently strong, but even more powerful when we're together. And we recognize the power of celebrating each other, because when you celebrate somebody else, that's when God opens up even more blessings for you, because they see that you can be happy, truly happy from the depths of your heart for someone. That's where true relationship, true community comes from. And if anybody in our circle needs, we come through. What do you need? You need a connection? Of course, I trust you. And I will definitely give connections. I've told people, I've shared where I work. I'll give you all the information. If you want me to put your resume in, if you're part of my group, I will put you on. I'll tell you what's really true, and I'll support you, because of course I want you to win. I'm not trying to gatekeep. I stand by it. I know that I only associate with people who I know if I put you on, you're going to do an amazing job. They'd be lucky to get you if they get you. And so I think that's where it's important to really make sure that, again, you are taking the time to cultivate the community that you have so that you can build it. And at the same time, being the type of friend that you expect to see in other people. That's why I think people get so let down. That's why I feel like people don't recognize you can't get energy that you don't give back out. You have to be at that point. And especially with what's going on now, if we don't have people who are solid behind us, if we don't have people that we can trust when shit hits the fan, you're in the wrong situation. And I'm just going to tell you that truthfully, because you don't have time to play around. What's going on is not something to play around with. You need to know that if people can need your support, that you have the right people surrounding you. And I'm not talking about people always necessarily having to come in and save you financially, because that's really not what it's about. I'm talking about the moments when life starts to do what it does, where you start to be losing the people that you love, and you're on your knees and you need prayer and you need support. You need to make sure that you have the people around you that actually pray when they say they're going to pray, not the ones that just give you that lip service like, girl, I'm praying for you. And then that prayer ain't going no higher than the ceiling. You need somebody who will get on their knees, on their face, and pray for you. That's what building true community is. And like I said, I know that this is a season of peace. And this is a season where we are all trying to, reclaim our time, be in the 92%, have that good energy. Nobody begrudges that. I always would have those conversations with my friends about making sure, hey, you're pouring into yourself, you're taking care of your peace. Having that kind of honest conversation and encouraging rest in peace is essential. And that should always be a part of the community, because every day should not have to be an anchor. Every day shouldn't be a problem. Every day should not. And if it is, that means that there's something within you that you need to examine, because every day is not stressful. It's hard, but it's not always stressful. And so you need to make sure that you are dealing with you, because it's not their job to fix you. And I think sometimes communities can be jeopardized when you have just those one or two people in it who are always looking to be fixed and never are able to pour back in. It's reciprocity in these times, reciprocity. Because if you have that, I can guarantee you will have the type of supportive environment that's really going to help you be able to thrive, that's going to help you be able to maintain the peace. You do not need to be siloed any longer. You can find community, you can build community that still honors your boundaries, but at the same time allows you to be poured into and allows you to pour into people in a way that is only going to make you better. And it is essential at this time. So essentially, I'm saying all this to say is that, my love, it is okay for you to have peace. It is okay for you to have boundaries. You don't have to be burnt out to be loved, and you don't have to isolate to feel safe. You can allow yourself to be in community, true community, with the right people. You have the discernment. Give yourself the space to be open. Don't close yourself off. And for those of us that are in community, we should go a little harder, because everybody's going through something. Check in with folks, but allow them to understand that You may not have the capacity today to give, but it doesn't mean that the love goes away. It just means that emotionally you may not be there. Be vulnerable, be authentic, be true. And that same type of energy will come back to you. And so I want you guys to think about, how you may be able to connect with someone this week. If you know there's someone that you want to connect with, but you've been kind of holding off because, you're not really sure if this is someone that you want to, get to know, or you're afraid that maybe, you're going to have to give too much energy in order to do it. If you're in a space where you're feeling good, try to connect. Be honest and, try to build relationships. And if you're in a community already or a friend group, check in with your people. See how somebody is, send a text and release the pressure to be perfect in all of this. None of us are perfect. I know for myself, I have struggled through so many seasons where I lost my words. I literally just did not have words for people. I isolated when I was struggling emotionally, and people would come and look for me. Thank goodness. I'm very grateful. But I isolated because I'm like, I just need to be within my thoughts. But that wasn't what I needed. I needed them. I was just so afraid of letting them in because I felt crazy. Don't be a pressure person. Don't put that much stress and strain on yourself. Allow yourself to be you. And you can be at peace. You can sip tea. You can be connected to other women who love you, who see and hold space for you, because you are deserving. You are worth it. Your peace is non-negotiable, and they know that and value that. And so I hope that today, like I said, we will start to maybe have more honest conversation about what true community looks like. Maybe we'll start to become the people that actually put people on LinkedIn and the social sites. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself. Maybe we actually will be more of the people who pray for people when they say they need prayer, like stop and take a moment to pray. Be action oriented. Be true in your intention, in your energy, and how you come to people every day, and let that true energy come back to you because you deserve it. So that is the podcast this week. I am very thankful again for the opportunity to talk with you, to share with you, to laugh with you. I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on true community. Please don't hesitate to share them with me. I love being able to connect with you, and tell me your tips for how you're letting down the walls so that you can really be true. Because like I said, we need each other. We really need each other. Now is the time. So please don't hesitate to share. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm going to have all of my social information in the show notes, but you can reach out to me on Instagram at the Well Done Life Podcast or at Pamela L. Davis. Or you can also email me at hello@thewelldonelife or thewelldonelife@gmail.com. And I will be posting all of this out on the socials. I'll be back around. I don't really talk about this, but I probably should. You can actually listen to the episode as well on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, the Well Done Life Podcast. So I'm going to link that too in the show notes. But just in case you want to listen, no, it is not video. I'm sorry. I'm still not with the video. I'm working on it though. With life, I've had to make some shifts around it, but I am working on it because I know sometimes people want to, just watch and have conversation. So I'm definitely going to try to get that done. But for now, we will stick with audio, and I will just be grateful that you listen. So again, thank you guys for listening. I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe. I also hope that you're finding some peace on this Sunday and feeling at rest and loved. And I hope that you will take care of yourselves and each other. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.